Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Christy here doing the weekly reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is for the week of November 14th through to November 21st. This is a general reading for your sign, so whatever is most prominent in your life, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to, and hopefully you find them helpful and healing. While I'm doing the readings this week for all signs, the moon is moving through both Leo and Virgo, so I'm going to theme the readings regarding talents and opportunities for your sign. So what does Scorpio need to know about talents and opportunities this week? All right, so another exciting week ahead for you, Scorpio. We're dealing sort of with the same themes that we were last week when we were looking at home and relationships. Of course, this week is talents and opportunities, but you know what? Not too much different for you, and this could be why, because the big decision around home and relationships really ties in with your talents and opportunities. We are looking with at all that glitters as your central card this week. As you remember, last week we were looking at it as, I believe it was the probable outcome or the influence, but either way, all that glitters shows up a lot in your readings. So this is something that you've been mulling about for quite some time here, probably making some changes around a career choice. But if not career in particular, something significant having to do with the way that you relate to the public. With regard to what you feel you're doing to relate to the public as opposed to what you're getting in order to do that within certain, what we would call like lifestyle, okay? So generally speaking, nothing overwhelming or difficult for you here, just something that you're going to want to figure out once and for all, but I don't think a specific action needs to be taken this week. I think that you can continue figuring this big question out for yourself. This, where do I belong? What is it that I really want to be doing? And, how do I come to terms with what I feel inside as opposed to what I'm contributing publicly right now, as opposed to, how I would like to contribute publicly. And then how is that going to affect your lifestyle? This is an ongoing issue for you here with the general energy. We're looking at something that feels rather karmic. Either you feel as though there's a karmic debt here that hasn't been paid, which probably is over, or you, this is a narrative. This old karmic debt that's been paid off is a narrative now that is you could be letting go of, okay? It's playing a much too large part in the process here that maybe you could be letting go of. So let's look at these individually and get a greater feel for why I would be summarizing this for you this way. So all that glitters, as I mentioned, it ends with isn't gold. This represents you this week. So this is really heavily on your mind. Of course, we have the Nugget Mountain, Gold Nugget Mountain, and the jewel encrusted masks. Now, masks are always symbolic, no matter which culture you're in or which era, of hiding, right? People are hiding something about themselves. It doesn't always mean a masquerade party, but we also understand that masquerade means, covering something up. It's being something else on the outside that you aren't necessarily on the inside. And because we're surrounded by gold and prosperity here, you're definitely getting something from it. that is probably very valuable to you, whether that is a social currency or a literal economic currency here. Could be relational, could be health. It could even be you're living in a certain area of the town where you can visit the country a lot and and you're getting something from that, but the rent is incredibly high. So what are you getting for what are you giving? And that's just one very simple example, but that's sort of what I'm talking about here. And because it's a general reading, whatever's most prominent to you this week is what I'm going to suggest this touches on. But again, with the theme being around talents and opportunities, we are looking really, again, specifically with what you are projecting or what you're giving out into the world, and then what you're getting from it could very well have to do with the work world for you, or if you are a parent of small children, or you have parental responsibilities. For example, this could be about not being entirely pleased about where you are with regard to raising the children, as opposed to what you would like to see an environment for your children. That's basically all this is around. Giving it a certain impression to get something, but not necessarily feeling that way. And that's going to stir up a lot of cognitive dissonance for you, Scorpio, because you are an incredibly, generally speaking, an honest sign, but you're also very sensitive, okay? You're a water sign. You're very perceptive, borderline psychic. So if you are feeling that, or if you are feeling these types of energies, don't brush them off either. These are important to you, and you're going to want to pay attention to that so that you can get to the root of it. So to the sea influences your current position. This is really going with the flow. That's really all it is here. You can see that there is no rudders. She's got no oars. She's sort of puttering along here. It's a little bit murky, but she's not upset with it. She's not, there's no disaster looming or anything like this. She is headed in a direction, but clearly she's not looking at where she's going. So it could be that you don't want to see something for what it is here. You don't want to take the mask off. Fair enough, right? Changes are difficult for people. It's human nature. It's bizarre in a way when you think about it. I mean, this touches all humanity, but however easily adaptable the human being is, we're equally as resistant to change. It's a really sort of unique human trait. But if there is any resistance here to this, or sort of seemingly like, whistling along and not paying attention to it, if you feel like this is a sense of protecting yourself, or wearing the mask as a sense of protection here, or even, as I mentioned at the beginning, this sense of, this story that you've been telling yourself, this narrative that you've been feeding yourself, even if it was true at one time, okay? Even if what you were telling yourself or had convinced yourself that your life is this and this is who you are, even if that was technically accurate at some point, could it be that it's no longer accurate, okay? Could it be that any karma that you feel indebted to has been paid? And now you can create a different story for yourself, or you can take that story and evolve it. Now it's time for what we would consider the next chapter, okay? Here with Clean It Up is your probable outcome. This is you really paying attention to what needs clearing away, okay? And it does mean that you do need to pay attention to this. You can't just float along for too much longer unless you're okay with this. Listen, you're not under pressure. This is really only an oracle reading. No one's out to get you. There's no timeline for this. There's no divine timing card here unless it comes up from the Angels deck. But really, this is your clock, right? This is your life. This is your clock. You call the shots. So you have to be comfortable with this and the way it plays out. But the reason I feel really strongly that all that glitters is coming up over and over is because I feel that you feel that something is off, okay? Not that it's wrong or bad or that you're a bad person. Nothing like that. It's just that when we experience cognitive dissonance, it means that subconsciously, we can get to what are considered low vibrations. We can get into a vibration of what is considered fear as opposed to love, because those are really, that's it, okay? In the grand scheme of things, there's love and then there's fear. And then everything surrounding love can be considered high vibrational, and everything around involved with fear can be considered low vibration. And that's it. So the cognitive dissonance in this regard would amount to a sense of fear, right? It would be the opposite of love. And this is where we're looking at the story or the narrative or this debt, okay? This karma, this sense of, another way to read this is a spiral dance, the sense of, you know, am I ever going to get free? Am I ever going to be free from this? If that is at all a part of your overarching query for the past some time, okay, however long that's been a query of yours, I would say, and then look at what we have here, patience. I would say there's no telling in any of your readings for the past, I would say at least month, that there's no urgency here. You really do need to take your time and come to terms with this, Scorpio. In fact, you've got patience here as one of your qualifier cards. It's something that you just sincerely need to work through at your own pace. If you feel like you're in some sort of race, if you feel like you need to hurry and do something, especially for someone else, just don't, okay? This really doesn't, it could affect other people, sure, but you don't need to hurry this process for other people or to make other people comfortable, right? This is your life. This is your story, your outcome, your goals, your heart. So, yeah, this has to be at your pace. This has to be at your time. But I will suggest that if a concern ever comes up around paying off a debt or a karmic debt, or feeling uneasy about how you are projecting or relating to the world as opposed to who you really are deep inside your heart, okay, then just take time with that. We have the ant here. This is patience. This is something that you need to sit with because it's an old story, right? And change, as I mentioned, we may be adaptable, but change is very difficult for all human beings. So you really want to be patient with yourself. You want to take time with this theme in your life and understand that you are blessed. You are under the auspices of many, many blessings here. Prayers can be answered for you this week as well. If you do need additional guidance, it would be a beautiful week for you to reach out to a favorite guardian angel or ancestor of your own, or to say a prayer in general to your own guardian angel. I might recommend Archangel Michael for helping to situate outcomes, if that is something that you might consider. So listen, I truly hope this helped in some way for you, Scorpio. That is your reading for the week. If you have a second, comment below. I love hearing from you. And if you liked the video, leave a like. That really helps me out. And if you're not already, subscribe to my channel. It's free to do that. So until we meet in the next video, take excellent care of yourself, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.